welcome back. Yeah,
Welcome back. Welcome back.
What's your problem with that, Darzzr?
Here's I didn't press F9. You can't just suddenly say, "Oh, welcome back," without expecting us to all be ready.
I can see you underneath of me, Fallaron.
Yeah, don't dig too far down, will you?
I promise nothing.
Well.
For all you know, I'm actually building a rocket styler.
Well,
I'm not, but for all you know, I could be.
true.
Well, that wasn't what we asked you to build.
And that's how espionage started.
You're going a bit robotic, is it, on my end? Anyway,
Yep.
never mind.
Same here.
So we're on another episode now, and what was I going to say? I was going to tell you. I was going to mention this Alpha Pupper Alan Partridge film, wasn't
Yes, you were.
I? I was, and it is the film based on the many Alan Partridge TV series.
So, for a minute, you know,
Yeah.
Imagine that we're talking to someone
imagine
who
you're
has no
talking
idea.
to someone who has no idea who Alan Partridge is.
Alan Partridge is a fictitious DJ.
So he doesn't
Like-
exist.
That's what the word fictitious
That's
means.
what- that's
All
what
right,
fictitious
very good,
means,
very
yeah.
good.
So explaining each word, of course, that it's important.
Well,
He's played by a guy called Steve Coogan, and he is...
for a minute, imagine you were talking to someone who has no idea who Steve Coogan is.
I just told you who he is. He plays Alan Partridge. That's all you need to know. There's been other stuff as well, like he was active in complaining about the press with the whole Levison thing. And don't ask me about the Levison... Well, we could talk about the Levison thing, actually, but never mind.
Let's not talk about the
Let's not talk about Levison.
Now I kind of want to know what the Levison thing is about.
We're gonna have to spend a whole episode rewinding this now until the point
Okay.
where I could get to
We'll be here a
everything.
while if we go on to that.
Can we just say this is what? British interior politics something?
It all came out of the phone hacking thing, where it became apparent that various members of the tabloid press had been hacking voicemail messages, and also in one case there was a suggestion that they sent a message on the phone of a
murder victim, I think it was.
a murder victim, yeah, and it made the parents think that she was still alive.
Ooh.
And essentially, it all, there were questions about were they, bribing the police? Were they, misusing private investigators to get information illegally and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And it was, different people took it in different ways. Some said, "Oh, at last we can rein in the dangerous tabloid press that just publishes sensationalist stories without." Regarding whether it's true or whether it's responsible. And then there's others that said, well, this is the government's attempt to censor the press.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Levison report came in from Lord Justice Levison, who was the judge that was put into lead this inquiry, he suggested a raft of legal measures that the government refused to implement. They instead went with the Royal Charter instead. The press, I believe, even so, have said that they won't even go with that, and I think they still have to come up with their own alternative that they're going to suggest. But it's pretty clear that nothing really is going to change.
Yeah.
Which is fairly standard for British politics.
I was just going to say,
Well,
that
standard
sounds
for any
like politics all over the world.
But it was interesting while it lasted. There were some very interesting depositions. I mean, Rupert Murdoch himself was called to testify. And
Is that the thing that broke his neck, basically?
Oh, I hope it was, but unfortunately
it was the thing where. Do you remember where the guy came up and I think threw something at him, like an egg?
Oh yeah.
That I think it was an egg or something like that. Or it was a cake, or I can't remember what it was. We have this history in Britain of throwing eggs and cakes at people. No, it's
sad.
But anyway, so that was Levison. Now we're winding back to Steve
we
Coogan.
were originally talking about.
Steve Coogan is a comedy actor. He's been in a few films, and he's done lots of things. But one of the characters he's probably most famous for in this country is a washed-up DJ, Alan Partridge, who had a TV show, a talk show, and ruined it for himself. Not least by, well, partly by being obnoxious, but also partly by killing a guest. And the rest of his life
on
has
purpose?
sort of... No, it was an accident. But even so, it sort of was the cherry on the cake for him. But he essentially has then spent the rest of his life trying desperately to get another series of his chat show back.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a spoof fly on the wall documentary called I'm Alan Partridge, and they did a follow-up called I'm Still Alan Partridge, which followed his life as he's trying to get back into TV and still trying to believe he's famous, even though he's relegated to doing late night late night, and of course then was later on there was Mid-Morning Matters with Alan Partridge on successively smaller and smaller radio stations. So anyway, at this point, here comes the film. Alan Partridge has been quite a successful character, so they've decided to do a film, and it basically, a fellow DJ goes nuts and holds the station to ransom.
A fellow DJ, I should point out that it's played by the same actor who portrays Miles O'Brien, the engineer of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, called Meanie.
Yes.
He
Now him I know.
he holds...
which is the only thing I know him for.
Well, again, he's been in lots of things. Road to Wellville, he was very good in that. He's done quite a lot of gangster characters as well, actually.
Yeah.
But he plays the DJ in this that goes nuts and holds the whole station to ransom. And the only man he will talk to is Alan Partridge. And so the police have to send in Alan Partridge to try and negotiate this guy who I think has got like a bomb in the station to try and negotiate.
I don't know if it's a bomb, but he definitely has a shotgun everyone's around.
I think he's got a shotgun. Certainly in an early draft, when I heard about the film's development, they were talking about that it would be a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as I say, I haven't seen the film yet because it hasn't actually come out, but
Yeah.
I've been sort of following it as it's been in production. And this is basically the situation. Alan Partridge, the inept, offensive arsehole, Alan Partridge is the only guy that will apparently this guy will negotiate with, and so he has to go in there and somehow talk his way out of a tense situation. And
you can imagine is not something he's intentionally good at.
No, it should be pretty good, this film. So
It certainly looks fairly good.
it looks fairly good. The clips look great, so we'll see how it pans out.
Oh well, that was just crap. Not the film.
Well, you may have seen it in the meantime.
Apparently, I've only just acquired the achievement getting wood.
Really? Your voice...
Seriously,
23
while we're
years old, you
recording,
imagine I would... 23 years old, you imagine I'd get that earlier, but nope.
Lying, your voice has gone very muffled all of a sudden.
Yeah, it has.
Is your net connection playing up, or are you downloading something or something?
Mm-hmm.
Neither, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Fallaron reckons you are downloading something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
By the sounds of it, Fallaron reckons he's LaShonda. But I'm reasonably certain that's not the case.
No. But you might want to reconnect to the Skype call
Yeah.
because
Maybe.
it's really bad to understand. Hard to understand. There he goes. Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, there's this guy called Lying.
oh, this guy called Lying.
What
So
about
we've
this guy
spoken-
called Lying?
Oh, that sounds better.
Much better, yeah.
Oh, I should get some lights, shouldn't I?
Lights are generally a wise idea when you're clearing out a spot under the ocean.
Yeah. Jack-o'-lanterns, where are they?
I think they're largely on make them as you need them kind of basis.
Now, for a minute, imagine you're talking to someone who has no idea what jack-o'-lanterns are.
I'm still not entirely sure what
They're
they are.
They're a form of large produce that is gutted and filled with fire.
It's a gourd.
Yes, now we have to explain gourd.
No, we don't. It's what pumpkins are, and marrows and melons. They're all
Yes, but if
gourds,
we
aren't
have to explain what a jack-o'-lantern is, what is the odds that someone also knows what the pumpkin is?
Well, Fallaron, who has been using jack-o'-lanterns for many years now, seems to have absolutely no idea what they are.
Many years.
Many years.
I used to have a YouTube channel devoted to jack-o'-lanterns.
And then you had to you had to close that down when the jack-o'-lantern phase passed.
No, YouTube actually wrote me a letter that I had too many subscribers and they needed the space. So...
Oh yeah,
Too many
I got that.
subscribers.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
kind of kicked me
I've
out.
got that
Oh, you
many
got that on
times.
your harmonica channel?
My harmonica channel, yes. My glass harmonica channel.
The glass harmonica.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't play them. I just sort of stared at them for 4 hours at a time.
Yeah, it's
I'd
like
find
men
one, just
staring
stare at it.
goats.
And
Which was
yeah.
a good movie, actually.
It's a pretty good movie, actually, yeah.
Yeah, the main problem that befell the men who stare at goats, which you should go and find on DVD, was that it happened to be released within the same week as Twilight New Moon.
Yep.
Also, well, it's interesting actually. The Men Who Stare at Goats. I mean, of course, based on the book of the same name by John Ronson.
Yep.
Oh, nearly died there. And that in turn was inspired by a TV show that he used to do called For the Love of, where he would have a bunch of people in who were interested on a particular topic and get them to discuss it. And often they were a little bit wacky. And I used to watch that show. It was
So it's
often great
basically
fun.
like Atlantis with Darzzr and Lane.
If
That's
we were
all.
all in a room with sofas, the one with conspiracy theorists was fantastic because they all accused each other of being like Illuminati. And one of them was
As you
late on
do.
the train, so they all assumed again that it was a government thing that they'd deliberately been. So you see these trains again, but it was that was a fantastic episode. There was one which didn't sound particularly interesting, but I did enjoy it. It was about the guys that are fans of big pylons.
Big pylons.
Pylons,
sounds
you know,
like some
transmission
kind of-
towers and things, and electricity pylons. And
Right,
they would go
'cause
around and collect
that
pictures
sounded
of
like
them.
some kind of that sounded like some kind of distinct fetish magazine of some kind.
It may have been.
Well, there are
Big
people who enjoy
pylons
cars
dot
that
com.
way.
Don't
so
go
I
there. It
suppose.
probably is
This,
bad.
the stuff you guys have on TV, it's crazy.
Well, this was late night Channel 4, and if you knew Channel 4, you'd know that means you're pretty much.
That means
Oh,
you're
it
out of the
goes.
window as far as standards go.
You are. You're really. You're at the very bottom of the barrel now. I mean, this is the channel that gave us Eurotrash.
Yep.
Which, funny enough, it just occurred to me that some of the stuff that we get up to on here is probably not a million miles away from what they used to talk about on there. But yeah, that was Channel 4 late night. All bets
Suffice
are
it to
off.
say that some of the
Banzai
a lot of
as
the
well.
weirder, a lot of the weirder stuff that you hear on British television, it probably
It comes from Channel 4 in the middle of the night, yeah. Like,
Mm.
or maybe Channel 5. But that
Maybe.
Channel 5 was that nude Keith Chegwin game show, wasn't it?
Oh God, yes. Why did I have to be reminded of that?
So again, you take Keith Chegwin, a much loved and respected DJ, and you then think, what would people really like? They'd like to see him front a game show. Okay, well, yeah, DJs can front game shows. And why don't we get him to do it while he's completely naked? And all the contestants are naked as well. And we can be like...
And apparently at that point, the boardroom had a mass seizure event, and no one was able to come up with a reason why not.
Why not?
Yeah. No, it was...
It
was
seems to me
bizarre.
that kind of situations happens a lot in entertainment.
Especially on Fox.
Because I have to say, sometimes I go watch a movie and I come back out of the movie thinking, who on earth allowed this movie to be made? Did they not read the script before they started making it?
Well, I read a rather interesting thing about Iron Man 1 not too long ago today, which was they literally released, well, maybe Iron Man 1, maybe 2. They literally had no script when they were filming it. It's like
Well, alternatively, you've got things like Apocalypse Now, where due to Marlon Brando's shenanigans, they had to basically abandon the script and make it up as they went along. So it
Well,
doesn't-
that's pretty much what they did with Iron Man 1, because they would spend like the first few hours of every workday just sort of just randomly hashing out whatever ideas they could, which was which was fine for like Robert Downey Jr. because he's great at improv, but it was horrifying for Jeff Bridges, aka the Dude, because he is very more used to actually having like a plan when he's going onto set and stuff. So he just apparently eventually just started looking at it, instead of being a multi-million action film kind of thing, as like a $2 million student project instead. And that's why there's a lot of the remarkably better moments inside of Iron Man 1.
Oh my god, hey. There's a slime.
There are plenty of slimes.
So, Fallaron, what films do you think were ones where you thought, question mark over the script?
Oh, are we really going for the bad movie thing?
Yeah, let's go into the bad movie thing.
Alright. Have you guys ever seen a movie called Reign of Fire?
I have it on DVD behind me.
That is one of the dumbest movies ever.
So bad.
But you still have it on DVD.
I have a lot of movies that I own on DVD before I watch them.
And
I
should be
also,
said.
I mean, I like stuff like the MST3K stuff, and so I actually have genuinely bad B movies on DVD, which I bought because I know they're bad, and I love them because they're bad.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for intentionally watching a bad movie. You can make so much fun that way.
You can.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've even, with Cinematic Titanic, I even bought them online, and downloaded them that way, and it's a good way of spending an evening. Get a pizza and watch a really bad movie and just laugh your way through it.
Yeah, it's like I have. You guys probably have heard of it, Iron Sky, sitting around here.
I believe we talked about this actually off camera, didn't we, last time?
Possibly, because Iron Sky, for those who don't know, was a kickstarted film regarding Nazis who escaped to the moon at the end of World War II.
I thought we
Set
wouldn't
up
be
a
getting
moon
through
base.
another episode without Nazis coming into it somewhere.
Blame Iron Sky. But then they decided to come back to Earth to invade again in 2013.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember.
Meanwhile, the presidency of the United States is up for re-election and is seemingly Sarah Palin. And it is a complete, absolute joke of a film, but it is so fantastically well done. It's like basically no part of Iron Sky should ever have been made into a film, but they did it so well, and for being as low budget as it was, the effects are tremendously, amazingly well done.
On the other
So
hand,
I
you've got other films like oh god, I can't remember what it is now. I'd have to actually pause the game to look it up which one it was. I'm gonna have to. Everybody on my channel, just wait a second. I'm just gonna look up very briefly.
While you do that, let me bring up Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is officially
Oh yes,
the
now
worst
you're in
movie
Edward
ever.
territory here, aren't you?
Sorry?
So, well,
Edward, yeah.
again, all bets are off with Edward.
And I have to say, I've seen that movie, and it's hilarious. I mean, it really is. You have to see this. It's so bad. It's hilarious, funny, it's awesome. We watched that.
Any more adjectives you want to add there?
Yeah, it's great, fantastic, breathtaking.
Cinema verite.
Yeah, we did a couple of friends of mine and I. We did a movie evening once where the topic was the worst movies that we know, and we did watch Plan 9 from Outer Space, which was actually good because it was so bad. But we also watched a movie called Death Machine. I don't know.
Oh, I've heard of this one.
Death Machine is a movie in which a couple of eco-terrorists, I think they were, get caught in a building in which a robotic killer machine
Yeah, that was bad luck.
goes crazy and kills everybody. Something like that. And
Because what else does a robotic killing machine do?
Exactly. And there is one scene in that movie that is really good, and that is
Okay.
the scene where there's a guy who has a giant machine gun with him or something.
Bound to happen.
Yeah,
Eventually.
not really
That
sure.
has to happen in every episode.
Not really sure what it was, and he confronts this death machine, and he shoots it to hell. Basically, he thinks he won, and turns around to leave, and beats or runs into a low like door frame, and it knocks him out, and the death machine kills him because it wasn't dead.
Naturally.
So that movie, if you play role-playing games and you know, critical error,
Critical fails.
critical fails. That was the perfect critical fail. I've never seen such a good critical fail in any movies before. But what else is bad?
Well, I was trying to
there's
find this
there's
movie, and
plenty
it
of
caused
things
me a
that
bit
are
of
bad.
lag because I've actually been trying to bring up my backup drive because I think I've still got the file
You
on
put it on
here.
file? Oh, cool.
Yeah, here it is. It's Doomsday Machine.
Doomsday Machine.
Title.
I actually don't think that one rings a bell.
A movie which they ran out of money to complete.
Oh, that's always a good start to
That's
this.
always a good start, but they decided to finish it off using the ending of a completely different film, which they just tacked onto the end. And it doesn't
what
have
film
any of the...
was this? And please don't say Casablanca.
I can't remember which film it was, but they made it so dark that you couldn't see the characters' faces. And the whole style of the ending is completely different, and it makes absolutely no sense.
Oh,
But the film itself, I was watching this, and I got it off Cinematic Titanic. I was watching it, and I thought, this looked like a maybe 60s film, maybe even late 50s, and the look of it and the special effects. And I thought the only weird thing about it was this bizarre tacking together the other bit of film on the end. And then I looked at the date and realised that it was actually made in about 79. And everybody looks like they just walked out of the 1950s. And I swear they actually show... There's a scene where I think they show the Earth being blown up, and it looks like someone suspended a potato on a string and set it on fire.
So,
I mean, this is
early
after
Red
we've
Dwarf
actually...
kind of effects.
Worse than that.
Ow.
I mean,
That's
it's
impressive.
just... Well, the other... I have to say, by the way, with Red Dwarf, okay, you're going to be unfair about that, because don't forget, it was originally shot for video.
Yep.
And when it was first broadcast, because I watched it from the very first series back in 1987,
I wasn't
and
alive
you
then, but
couldn't
I have watched the
tell-
entire series.
you couldn't tell back then on TV technology at that time that, for instance, Holly was just Norman Lovett in a black polo neck shirt. You can
On a
on the
black background.
DVDs. Because
Yes.
the quality is so much better. But you've got to bear in mind, the special effects looked genuinely better on a worse television, which is what we all had at that time. So I'm going to kind of stand up for the special effects of Red Dwarf at the time. Nobody
Well, that's
anticipated
kind
that
of something a lot of people have been realizing now with the way that YouTube will automatically shunt down the quality of the video you're watching if it's experiencing some kind of lag.
Yeah.
Is 480p used to be what everyone watched everything on. Now no one can stand it.
Yeah.
Well,
You
personally,
cannot
I
see a
do.
single thing.
Most of the stuff I watch, I will still happily watch on 240p.
Really?
Yeah, because I just can't be bothered using up bandwidth.
Yeah.
240p is what my phone broadcast is what my phone views things.
Yeah,
at.
but there are very few videos that I've come across where it's worth seeing it in more.
Hmm.
Can I, for some reason that is really, really unclear to me, I have just remembered a TV series that I used to love as a kid, and I kind of want to know, especially you, Darzzr. Lying, you might not have been alive yet, but Darzzr,
Right.
maybe you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a English, if I'm not mistaken, by the BBC Robin Hood series, with the guy who played
Oh, do you
the
mean
main character was
Robin of
Mike-
Shirt?
Michael Praed? Praed?
Michael Praed. Yeah, I've met him.
Yep. Oh, really?
I met him when he was in Copacabana, the Barry Manilow musical, and we all went to see that. And we went because I was with a guy at the time who used to know Michael Praed from years ago.
Uh-huh.
And so we all went backstage, and he signed my program and everything, and we actually had a chat. He was quite a nice guy, actually,
really
Michael
cool.
Praed. But yes, that was
You remember that?
Robin of Sherwood, wasn't it?
Robin
it
of
was,
Sherwood, I think. And
with
what
that
it was-
wonderful theme tune by Clanad.
Yep.
Which
And
I
was
won't
it
sing, but
Clanad?
I do love
What
that
it was
theme tune.
lying is they had a Robin Hood.
Hang on. You did just say Clanad, right?
I did say Clanad, yes.
Huh. That one I actually have heard of, except I know that by an anime that's not by an anime of the same name.
All right.
Wonder what the odds are if they're related.
This is interesting, Lying. I decided to make a quick tunnel for ease of access from this proto house
Right.
to our house, and guess where I've broken through into?
Please tell me it's not the chicken cooker.
It's the chicken cooker,
Of course.
but only the redstone bit, fortunately.
Oh, that's not much better.
Well, I haven't damaged anything. It's just bizarre that that's, of all places, that's where I came through. So I've got to try and work out how to safely edge my way around this now. That's not
Well,
the way.
do not. As the best way I imagine is to not be holding any kind of seeds in your hand. Careful to your right.
I can see where the hoppers are. So if I go around this way,
I can see you.
I'm going to try and go completely around the outside of the machine.
I'm hearing a bat that apparently survived the apocalypse.
Well, bats are like the cockroaches of Minecraft, so yeah. Can't keep a bad bat down.
Right.
I found the cave that the bat is inhabiting, I think.
Let me grab another one of these.
Maybe not.
Don't need all of these up here now.
Yay, impromptu caving! Holy shit!
That seems like the best way it can go, yes.
So what were you actually going to say about this show then, now you've identified it?
They did the whole thing very, like, there was a lot of mysticism in it, I think.
There was, yeah, there's all the Hern the Hunter stuff and everything.
Yeah. And I remember, because that was in the 80s, wasn't it?
That's right.
And I don't think I was extremely old when watching this, so that was actually still a little scary.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was a kid when we were the same age, basically, me and Fallaron.
Yeah.
Didn't know. And, yeah, I mean, I watched it because my mum used to like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny. I did the bit of adventure, but yeah, you had all the mysticism as well. I remember Hern the Hunter as being kind of a freaky, weird character, but I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that you could never see the face of, I think.
Yes,
Or,
yeah. You just with the hood and the horns.
Yep.
Yes, it's
All in all, that was a good TV series. Actually, there's still a couple of TV series
it's
from the 80s.
very,
that...
very 80s though, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely
It
is.
really is.
I mean, even
it's
the
got
look of the
a
people.
slime.
And then, of course, talking about older Robin Hood things, there was the film with Kevin Costner.
Oh dear. Yes, there was the film with
Prince
Kevin
of
Costner.
Thieves.
Prince of Thieves, which
I think I'm more a Men in Tights fan, personally.
yeah, well, I think for me it was most infamous for having that Bryan Adams song attached to it. Everything I do it for you. Which I learned to play on piano actually.
Ooh, for you.
And I think probably
this
still
is
play.
very much like a cliche thing to say, I think, but with regards to Men in Tights. Probably my favorite scene of that is what makes you think you can be successful where so many others haven't been, and his answer is just because unlike them, I can portray Robin Hood with an English accent. That movie is full of so many good lines. It's sort of like Princess Bride in that regard, which is a movie that people have to see.
I think everybody that's on the internet has seen The Princess Bride.
They've seen clips of it, probably.
Well, if they've certainly heard of it. And of course that brings us to the late Mel Smith, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. A loss.
A surprise death there.
There's been a few recent deaths, really.
They have.
At
Anybody
least within the celebrity community, for one about him.
I hear people die quite regularly.
They
in the
do,
world.
but what I'm saying is there anybody in particular that you would like to just bring up at this point?
To mourn, maybe even.
To mourn, or just to celebrate their contribution to this world we call the human world.
Or maybe to celebrate the fact that they finally croaked.
Yeah, is there anybody that you're glad is dead?
You're almost sounding like a radio station from Red Dwarf there, Darzzr.
I was sort of channeling Smashy and Nicey, you know, the old...
You were sort of
Harrington.
channeling the microbe.
Oh, well... okay. But...
The microbe that
anyway.
in a lot of people some of whom are, oddly enough, radio DJs and stuff.
It's a good question, though.
Well, there was one of the most famous guys from The Sopranos died recently.
What the?
Are we
the
saying
main
recently?
character?
I mean, that was a little while ago now.
I think that might have been the main character. I wasn't a big fan of his work in The Sopranos. But what I found out after he died is that he also played the main monster in the movie of Where the Wild Things Are,
Oh, right.
which I
And,
didn't know.
Can we just bring up the annoyance of people that put the question mark at the end of Where the Wild Things Are?
By all means. I was about to say I won't call myself something, but I realized if I did bring that up, we'd be talking about that subject again.
What you say? You won't call yourself Hitler?
No.
Talking
For today
something.
only, lying is not going to call himself
But I will
Hitler.
call myself at the end of the episode, so we shall catch you next
Oh,
time.
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
I thought it was time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.